Now you will recall that the 2021 elections bill was tabled during the first ordinary session of the National Assembly by the Honorable Minister of Justice. Yes, and the plenary referred the bill to this joint committee for scrutiny and for the committee to report back to plenary after doing all the necessary consultations with all relevant stakeholders. And the stakeholders include the Ministry of Finance and also the local government. Now the Ministry of Finance is here to both ministries are scheduled today to give an overview and raise also any concerns in relation to the bill as far as it relates to their different portfolios, that is finance and local government. I need not go into the details of the act, but we all know that the bill has some financial implications, and local government also has some role to play in it. And as such, we need your guidance and expertise on the way forward, how we go about it. And at the appropriate time, honorable members will also raise their concerns based on your interventions. Now for honorable members, all I am pleading is just for us to maintain decorum as far as the proceedings are concerned. So let us listen to each other, allow each other to raise their concerns, and then to ensure that we have a smooth deliberations and proceedings so that the Secretariat will be able to capture every relevant point that is raised by honorable members. It will not be an easy exercise, but we hope that at the end of the day, we'll be able to make a headway. And as I said earlier on, the mandate is for the committee to scrutinize, consider, and prepare a report on the bill for presentation to the plenary rather. And that in this venture, again, we are expected to make reference to the Parent Act, the 1997 Constitution, and also to invite the witnesses, amongst which you are. We are also going to invite IEC, they have come in, Justice, our human rights expert, our constitutional matters experts, because it has some constitutional aspect, because there is need to compare whether there is no inconsistency between the bill and the provisions of the Constitution, because we all know the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and in case of any inconsistency, the other provision will have to fail because it will be void due to the inconsistency. And that is the broad outline of the mandate of the committee, but it doesn't stop at that. We have the powers. If we're going around the country, they're going to embarking on the country to us from tomorrow to consult with the general populace to also have their views and receive recommendations from them. So basically, that is it. And then on that point, may I invite the Honorable Minister of Finance, to give the committee an over. I think the introductions had already been done the last time. We know each other. Yes, it was done. So we will start with the Minister of Finance first. An overview of the bill, raise any concerns or views, what do you think? And then the honorable members will take it up from there. And the same thing will happen when it's time for local government. Yes, thank you very much, honorable.
Thank you very much. Just to confirm that the IEC requested up to today this morning 150 million, and I just release the entire amount, 126 million. Just to confirm to you that yes, that we have released that.
You have provided them with funds.
Funds, the entire, all what they've requested 126 million, and we have released 126 million up to this morning, just to confirm. Relating to the election bill, we did made a review and consultations, and so far the only two sections that relate to finance, fiscal issues are section 14 and section 87, subsection 4. Section 14.
Preference, but since you've just commented, our two female members were not here. Can you repeat the IEC component? So
Yeah, thank you.
On the same wavelength?
Thank you. I just want to confirm that up to this morning, the IEC's entire request for their operations is $126 million, and that we have released the entire amount as they requested. That's 126 million. That's for the election. Regarding the election bill, the two sections that really relate to our operations is section 14 of the bill and section 87, subsection 4. And section 14 of the election bill, that's the registration of Gambians living abroad, might also have budgetary implications. This section not only deals with the registration of Gambians abroad, but also availing them with the opportunity to vote as diasporans. However, if the authorities want to proceed with this, and it is not already factored in the IEC budget, then we will have to consider an SAP item provided as detailed cost, provided that they do provide the detailed cost to us. Section 87, subsection 4 also mention the granting of exemptions for the payment of customs duties to a candidate or political parties in respect of importation, of election materials on the presentation of a certificate of authorization issued by the Independent Electoral Commission. This definition of election campaign materials is quite broad and could be subject to abuse. Hence, it would be preferable if this is properly defined, what constitutes election materials. It could be so broad that it would be very difficult to identify. It is also not in line with our ongoing reform to streamline and harmonize tax waivers. My last budget statement, I did emphasize on the tax expenditure that we are losing almost 5% of our tax revenue, our GDP, and that's a huge amount that we are losing. And our Custom Act gives powers to the ministry to grant duty waivers. Hence, this section of the election bill will contradict the Public Finance Act, since the IEC will provide the authorization in the case. What we have been able to read from there is that with that authorization from the IEC, they can go directly to GRA and enjoy that exemptions. And that is something that we feel it is contradictory. So to the Public Finance Act. I think if there is anything, we should be more specific. In the event such a thing happens, they can recommend, issue like a recommendation to the ministry. We have a committee which comprises of the Ministry of Finance, the Trade Ministry, the Accountant General, Internal Audit, and they sit every Thursday and they review all of this. Before, it was the sole authority of the minister to really give out all this, and that is in line with the law. But reviewing as part of our reforms, we decided that it should be consultative and everybody should be involved. And those are the only two sections that we are very much concerned. Thank you.
That is section 14 and 87.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
But then I am sure the honorable members will will raise additional issues.
Sure.
We probably respond to. Thank you very much for that. Honorable members, we've all had Honorable Minister Nsabudi bring you. So we can leave. So if you have something to say, otherwise we allow honorable members to raise any concerns.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that Drame, Honorable Drame. Yeah. Can you use the microphone? Mr. Mendes?
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I wanted a clarity because he said, I mean, they've disbursed. Minister of Finance has disbursed 126 millions to the IEC based on the request. I don't know if he can be in a stand to elaborate more on this 126 million, or to give us a breakdown so that we understand what the 126 is meant for. Is it for the entire presidential election, or what is the 26 million meant for? At least a breakdown. And again, that's just an observation from Honorable Speaker. I think for consistency purpose, you keep on saying local government and regional government. I think you need to stick to regional government for consistency purpose. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know, I understand.
Yes, thank you. According the breakdown, actually, what we have is the voter registration materials and also the election preparatory activities. Those are the two items.
74 million and
So, but I think there was a breakdown, honorable members, that part?
54 million.
Yes, I think there was, but we can confirm that. Members of FPAC in this committee can confirm that. This is
Preparatory activity. The first one is 74 million, and the other one, the preparatory activity, is 52. Yeah.
Preparatory activities.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Davo.
Yeah, the Honorable Minister did report that. Yeah, according to the Honorable Minister of Finance, IEC did request 126 million for the, I want to believe the total allocation for the registration exercise. At the point of this request, did they mention anything like diaspora vote registration?
No.
Thank you very much. Yes, under section 44, our understanding is that the IEC will prepare their budget, the estimates, give it to the president, but he should not take anything or reduce anything, but make comments and bring it to the National Assembly. So it is assumed that the IEC will put sufficient funds for their activities in their budget. Now, in the bill that we are looking at, it is suggested that the IEC be receiving funds through donation from other areas. What is your reaction to that? Do you think that is something that is okay? Or because the feeling is that the government may not have sufficient funds for the IEC, especially when it comes to election year. So they'll be seeking for donations. But others are saying, no, they should not be giving donations. So we just want to hear from you on that. Thank you.
Yes, I don't think we have any issue of them receiving the direct funding, but it must be accounted. This is why the information must also reach us. Because you might have a situation where a budgeted item is now being funded by a donor. So if we don't get that information, then it's duplication. So that's why we always insist that it must be channeled through us. That doesn't mean that we are holding on to fund, but that's for information. We always avoid that duplication. But we have no issue, we have no problems of donor funding. But to tell you the truth, overall, the history in this country is that we have always been funding our elections. We have always been funding. If any donor unilaterally would like to fund, you are welcome. But the information must also reach the Ministry of Finance, just to avoid duplication of activities.
Thank you. Honorable Njai.
I think the Minister of Finance was really apt in picking up Section 14 about the diaspora register and about the diaspora voting, because it will be at a cost, and I think it needs to be factored. But the second provision, Section 87.4, I think also we need to bear in mind the ways and means of approving these duty waivers, because according to the law, I think it should be Parliament that should be, and that should have the prerogative to issue those waivers. And it says by the certificate of authorization by the Commission. Is that taking it from the Parliament, giving it to the Commission? I think it is a cause for concern. It needs to be looked into. And like you rightly said, it says a candidate or a political party. I was expecting it to be election material, election campaign material of the IEC, because when they say campaign, I would assume sensitization. And I think those materials are very important. But if we open it to candidates or political parties, it will be open for abuse, because there is no control. There is no control whatsoever. They can bring anything and just say it is for election campaign. So I think we need to look at this and specifically say material for the Commission and remove political parties or candidates, because I am particularly concerned about the lack of control in campaign resources, let alone bringing in anything that would give them any leeway, and also at the expense of the taxpayer. Because anything that is lost through tax is being denied to the taxpayer that needs the income, and we are a tax-based economy. So I think this section needs to be looked at thoroughly and be specific to the Commission, not to any candidate or to any political party.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, you want to react to that? Okay, now. Yes, Tunkara. Honorable Tunkara. Now, these are issues that legitimate issues raised, so that we can look at them and also invite the experts, who are versed in election.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. It's more to portray on the point of look at Section 87, subsection.
It was moved by the Honorable Minister for Justice.
Yes, that's okay. Section 87, subsection 5. It said that the election campaign materials referred in subsection 4 may include not more than 7 vehicles every 5 years. So my concern here is this thing needs to be really looked at in terms of political party financing as well. Not to encourage outsiders to be interfering or intruding in the internal politics. They can be donating these vehicles to them with some condition that when you get to power, these are some of the modalities. So the issue of bringing in vehicles in that number should be really looked at thoroughly. That a political party might be bringing 7 vehicles within an election year. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes. Honorable Sanya.
Wow.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think the Minister of Finance will be waiving this flag under Section 87, subsection 4. It is an important element. I think what I want to suggest here, if the material we're talking about, if IEC can provide this material, that should be subjected to scrutiny to look at it together, whether we will agree on those things. But if you say material, as he rightly said, it's vague. So if they can be itemized and bring to us so that we can look at it and vet it, that would have been a way forward.
I also think that it's a section that we should further consult with IEC.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thank you. Just let's take note of it. Yes, Honorable.
Come for it.
Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Minister made mention of Section 14, the reason of diaspora voting. You well mentioned that it's not part of the budget, and well mentioned maybe if there is an SAP. I would like to know, as the Finance Minister, if the SAP is brought, would you have the fund?
At this juncture, it's very difficult, but I'm telling you, it is tough because we were never prepared for it. The only way is to come to SAP, and this SAP will be subjected to borrowing. Then those are the issues. Whether we have the funds right now, no, we don't. That's why we have to come to SAP, and that will be subjected to borrowing. Definitely, we don't. Right now, we don't have it.
Honorable Kamara, not Ilyasa.
Thank you very much, Finance Minister, for giving $160 million to IEC. So what I'm saying that is you can give us hard copies and evidence that can use for such money and give it to IEC. Please, thank you.
Thank you. It's okay.
Yeah, that's my question.
Opposition is an opposition candidate.
I think the IEC budget was scrutinized by
Exactly.
But I think I have a right. I have a right to ask a question. Yes. I have a right.
Thank you. Speakers overruled.
Thank you.
You can't overrule that.
I overruled this.
Please, one meeting, I did plead for decorum so that we'll have a very progressive.
And thank you, Speaker, for overruling that.
Thank you, honorable members. You had a chair, or you want to come on?
Yes, go ahead.
Can you thanks, Joe. Well, I think our last engagement.
No, your mic, long plus.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, during our last engagement with the IEC, the issue of this Section 14 of the bill emerged, the issue of diaspora voting. And they made it categorically clear, the issue of diaspora, they have budgeted for them. So they have budgeted for the diaspora. So only Section 39, that is kind of a stumbling block that they are thinking of if that can be done. But they have budgeted for the IEC. And what the Finance Minister is saying, they are not catered for. So these are two different issues which we need to further clarify.
Yes.
For clarification, we, according to the law, the IEC, they don't submit their budget to us. We don't have access to it. It is subjected to directly to the Office of the President and to the National Assembly. But as far as we are concerned, what we have seen, there is nothing like diaspora voting in the budget.
Not talk about the financial viability. I left it open that honorable members will bring up their concerns.
I said I wasn't following because I wasn't here when they announced it. I wanted to ask the question because I thought we were going outside the scope of the bill. But according to I guess we are inside.
Thank you. I mean, when the brief was Honorable Njai and please Honorable Jalo, when the brief was prepared and there were certain details which I thought it wasn't fair for me to bring it up, let me allow honorable members to raise their concerns and then the relevant ministers will respond. And Chair, Honorable Seka, before I give you the floor, just allow me to just comment on the issue of the diaspora voting that Honorable Sadi raised vis-a-vis the response of the IEC. You will recall that IEC commissioners or their legal advisor specifically told this joint committee that they were going to look or seek, let me use the word, they were going to seek legal advice on the interpretation of Section 39. And I, in fact, suggested to them that they have so many constitutional lawyers whom they can consult and look for the majority opinion that says A, B, or C, so that they'll be able to follow the correct procedure vis-a-vis the Constitution. Thank you. Now, Seka, Honorable Seka.
Thank you very much. Maybe I just need clarification. So, Honorable Minister, if you say even this morning the 126 million is given, is it that it has been approved or it is with the IEC?
Yes, it's already in the coffers of the IEC. It's already released.
That takes us through with the Minister of Finance for the time being. But we have to go through the bill clause by clause. And in case there is any need in any of the clauses relating to finance, of course we will invite you to come and see further clarification. But just a second, let me consult with the co-chair. Let me allow the Vice Chair. He has a good proposal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. What I was saying is you've highlighted issues as far as the bill is concerned that you think to an extent may cause a hindrance as far as our development is concerned. And that is specifically on Section 87 sub 4. So what we requesting is, as a ministry, we've engaged with you, you've told us your position, and you've had comments and concerns from honorable members. So we want your position as a ministry. Send us a position paper, half page, full page, 1.5 page, as far as this particular section is concerned. A written position paper from the ministry.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That is coming from the Ministry of Finance. It is not coming from the executive.
No, from the ministry.
From the finance.
Yes.
All right, we will do that.
Yeah.
Because as I said, we're going to go through the bill clause by clause, so that when we come to this relevant clause, we know that finance position is A, B, and C.
Like the co-chair mentioned, for the ministry's position, can it not be just
Can you allow me to view?
Can it be extended to the whole bill, the financial viability, not just to those specific sections the minister mentioned, because there might also be other aspects of the bill that can have financial implications. So let them look at the whole bill holistically and just give us a ministry's position.
Maybe better still, we can just request for a written overview of what the Honorable Minister has given us here, and then it will incorporate all the issues.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's why I said general overview.
You see, honorable members, I think what we are doing is just trying to enrich the report at the end of the day. The co-chair allowed you to come up with your comments, concerns, ask questions, make suggestions like Honorable Member for Banjul Saudi. So, upon conclusion of the engagement with the Minister of Finance, requesting the floor again.
I am saying because you did ask them their most of concern, wasn't there? And when they came here, they flagged 2 areas as a ministry in which they presented. So I'm just trying to buttress the point that the area that they have flagged, they can really make that position paper. Yeah.
That's the suggestion by the Honorable Member.
No. I'm saying the Honorable Member, you have to go entirely. These are, according to them, I'm on record. These are the 2 gray areas of concern after perusing through the bill.
Okay, but
thank you.
Honorable Member, they have not said that they are covering everything. They have identified 2 sections. Now we're requesting for position paper on 87. Now Honorable Jai is also talking about 44. These are the 2 areas that they have raised, so let their position paper touch on these 2 areas. And if going through it they discover anything else touching on finances, well and good. So I think at this point we can say thank you very much and invite the Honorable Minister for Local Government. Can we release him? Yes, I think we can release him. We will keep on coming.
Yes, sir. We will get a clean copy. I have already written. So you contact by Madia. Give me a clean copy. I can send you my email. Okay. Flex. What flex? Kewa. Kewa. I want to say.
Please, Honorable Member, order. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, and I have already given a synopsis of the reason why you have been invited to come in relation to the Elections Bill 2020. The reasonings of finance are the same, and that is to tap the expertise and your areas of concerns raised in the bill. Thus, you will recall that the bill does not only cover presidential elections, but it covers all elections, which include local government elections, and that is the mayors, chairpersons, and the councillors. The committee would therefore need to be guided from your ministry with regards to those specific and other general areas touching on your portfolio and your expertise. And any information that you wish to give to this committee will be appreciated for the consideration and determination of the bill by the committee. And in that regard, we invite you to review, citing the specific relevant sections that you may wish to highlight. Thank you very much. But then I will have to hand over
Okay, sorry, okay. Do I come in? Yes. Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, I just wanted to make some clarification here. This morning, I received a brief from the Permanent Secretary that the Select Committee will be going around countrywide to talk to the local authority, like the governors, the chiefs, and the councils. Yes, we have already assigned the Director of Governance to be in touch with them. But as the notice is so short, we are not quite clear whether the desired objective will be achieved. So we are, if in case of any hitch, it's beyond our control. On the last scheduled day, I was not present, but because there was a breakdown in communication, I had traveled. When I came back to the ministry, we had so many engagements. I was not aware of that meeting, so I think the Permanent Secretary did clear adequately as to the reason why I was absent. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, this is a bill that is governing the general conduct of elections in this country, from referendum, presidential, National Assembly elections, mayoral, and other elections governing the councils. For us, at the level of the ministry, I think we have what the Local Government Act, that most of it governs the creation of these local authorities and the qualifications. What may really concern us here in this bill is Section 42, which deals with nominations. 43, the payment of deposits, and 44, the refund of deposits. I think this is very clear, and as at the level of the ministry, we have no concerns. We felt it was adequately addressed, and that there is no need for our intervention in those areas. Like I said, the Local Government Act is the main law that creates the municipalities, and also it empowers the IEC to do the demarcation of the local authority. So
can you use this one?
So I have not been clear. Can I go back on it again?
No, you can just.
You understand? Yeah. So for us, at the level of local government ministry, I don't think there's much we can have an input in this bill. For us, we have gone through it before even going to cabinet, and during cabinet discussions, our concerns were all taken care of. We said the bill is in order as far as local authority is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we can now allow members to raise issues of their concern. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I can understand that you are also a member of the cabinet and have thoroughly looked at this because it's a government bill. But I was also expecting you as the Minister of Local Government, especially where it says that the Election Commission may have discretion in voter registration. What is the ministry's position on that, and how are they going to do it? Because I know that the local government is across the country. We have 7 regions with local government. I was hoping that your ministry will take it up upon them to make sure that there is continuous registration to avoid this enfranchising certain people, because every day I'm very concerned about the rights of people voting, because every day somebody turns 18 and it should be continuous. And my concern is that it says that the commission may use its discretion. So it means that they can maintain this 10-year voter registration cycle, because it is May, it is not must. So what is your ministry's position on that? Because there must be continuous registration. You just need to walk in to a local government and register once you turn 18, so that you can have that right to vote. I know there should be limitation, because I don't expect like 2 months, 3 months before election for anybody to register, because the list might have been closed. But I would expect you to at least consider continuous registration through the local government authorities, so that people will not be disenfranchised.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I think he had it very well. Yes, Honorable Minister, do you have a response? Can we give the mic?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would have been happier if the local authority had power to register voters, eligible voters, as at when they turn 18, according to the member for Banjul South. But the word independent electoral committee, they are independent. They are not even answerable to the executive, and we being part of the executive, I don't think we have any room in deciding as to whether at what time to register and what the criteria to register. The word "may" is discretionary, and I believe in their good judgment as at when they feel they conduct registration of voters in the countrywide. So I think we respect that.
We have Bunduga Kunda, member for Bunduga. Yeah, you will get another chance, Bunduga Kunda.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Minister, before I go into what I want to ask, you did mention about, if I get you right, that you have issues with 42, 43, and 44. That was not clear what you were trying to say there. Can you please explain further? We know what are the issues with your department. Thank you.
Thank you. If I may have said that we have issues, maybe a slip of the tongue. I said, what concerns us? Those sections that I highlighted. And I said, looking at it, going through it, we have no issues with those sections. Those are the only ones that concern us. Yeah. No, we have no problems with it.
Thank you very much, Chair. Honorable Minister, I just need clarification. Because you're saying that it's true, it's in the IEC that should come up with all these issues. But since it came to cabinet, don't you think it would have been relevant to talk about these issues that we have talked about? That is the continuation of registration, if it is possible. That is the clarification that I need.
I don't think I said that came before cabinet. That's a new coming from the member for Banjul South, that proposing that if people every day, every week, every month, every year, people turn 18 and they're eligible for registration. That's coming from the Banjul South, and I don't remember that that was a matter that was discussed before cabinet.
Honorable Member Sawak.
I just have, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I just have a simple question. That is with regards to the threshold for a candidate to get back to be refunded your deposit. 20% of the casted, those who voted. If a candidate fails to score 20% at that particular election, you will lose your deposit. Looking at the economic situation of many Gambians and those who are contesting elections at the local level, don't you think that is too high?
Thank you. I don't think that is too high. Elections are all important. Election offices are all equally important. So that threshold of 20%, I think, is adequate.
Please.
It is the first past the post. Yeah, when we have elections, it is first past the post. And you might have 9% and win the election. So does that mean that the person who has 8% and lost the election would not have their deposit? Or even if you won with 9%, it means that you will not have your deposit because you've not had 20% of the votes? I think we should look into that. But also, my concern is to clarify. I just wanted to clarify what I said. What I said, Honorable Minister, we are lawmakers, and times are changing. People are not ready or willing to let go of their rights to choose the people that governs them. So my suggestion is that we look into the laws that we are making to accommodate for those for those circumstances and provide for walk-in through the local governments so that there will be a mechanism where where there will be a continuous national register of voters for each constituency via the local government. And this can be through an act of parliament that can be compiled when elections come so that the local government can provide that list to the election commission so that nobody will be missed out. That is what I mean. I'm not saying that you are giving the rights, but you are giving the rights to register anybody that turns 18. There would be a list so that when it's time for elections, there will be no need. They will just go and their name would be there and then they will print their voters card for them. Otherwise, they will be left out. That is what I meant. Not that you are giving the
I don't think I said we're given. I said I wish we have the right at the local councils to do the register so that nobody will miss out when we are eligible to be registered as a voter. But here, my take on it is the councils are elected and they are participants in an election. I think the IEC, being the referee, should be left without mandate to do the registration and conduct elections. It would be fairer and freer when a referee is charged with the responsibility of registration of voters rather than the actor, him or herself, doing the registration. Otherwise, if the bill is now before the National Assembly, and if the National Assembly feels that it should be a continuous process, the law could be you are lawmakers, you could easily make the law and it will be upheld.
Can we have Lower Salum? Can we give the mic to him, please? To raise a question, not to create any controversy.
But it's not clear, as a chair, when other questions are raised, you are there to overrule them, but you are not doing so. Yes, Honorable Chair, my question to the Minister, because there are a series of increasement of the deposit of candidate councils. In 2017, a councillor deposits $1,250. The mayor and mayoress, I think, is 5,000. No, 2,500. So that increasement, do you have any take them to stay, or the supplementary that is already in the draft? On the draft, that's mayor and and councils are increased. Do you have any concerns on those issues? Any concerns for raising that amount? And again, Honorable Chair, you are the co-chair. What anything that is pertinent to the minister, let's ask that and go on the other agenda, because IEC is an independent body. These supplementary registrations, the IEC legal responded verified that in fact there is a legal provision that is even keeping them for this supplementary of registration. Not the local government minister who will give that mandate to IEC. You understand? Then this deposit too, the IEC also has the mandate to know who whether the deposit suits you to give you back your deposit, whether you don't win or not, or you don't have that percentage. Not the Minister of Local Government.
No, the question is permitted. Yes. The question is permitted because it's in relation to the local government elections. That's why it is permitted.
No, but not them. It's the IEC.
I think the concern is here whether the increase is justifiable. If I understand the question. I think it's more. I think it's adequate. It's adequate. The amount is adequate. Yes. Yes, and like I said, every elected office is equally important in this country.
Come on now.
Okay. Honorable Chair, I simply want to observe that registration is one of the most important components in any registration election exercises. The fact that we have an independent entity to be in charge of election matters, and I've noted the importance of registration in that component. It will be important if we want for that particular exercise to be neutral before the players. The role of registration is still be vested in the hands of that independent entity. I would not love for us to partly go to the First Republic system, where the local government is responsible for the election exercise. One cannot divorce registration from that of the election. If the two are together, let's allow IEC to handle it and allow every Gambian who has the qualification to be duly registered.
Is that a comment or
I say a comment.
A comment. A comment. Yeah. Okay. So I have one or two persons which I can raise to the minister.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead. One person in two jobs. Okay, thank you very much. My question, Honorable Minister, is that the alcalos are going to be very busy during this period of registration, and some of them will be busy for as long as a month or two, working with the people, the IEC, to register people, and they must be there on the spot to attest to people who want to register. But my observation has always been that they are not remunerated during this period by either the ministry or the IEC. Don't you think it is time now that the alcalos are given some sort of remuneration during registration, so that they will not be leaving the registration center and allowing their children to come and attest to people that are older than them? What is your opinion on that?
I think I will, before leaving this meeting room, I will appeal to the National Assembly to vote for an amount to be provided for the alkalis to be able to carry out their functions as alkali vis-a-vis to stay put on the registration center before end of the registration period. So on behalf of the local government ministry and the alkalis, I'm now asking Parliament to vote some money,
special allocation for
special allocation for the alkalis. I will more than happy to receive that amount to provide alkalis to be there.
Also, Honorable Minister, you know Section 58(2) is saying that the Minister of the local governments may, in consultation with the regional governors, make recommendation to the National Assembly for the creation of new SAFO districts. Constituencies had been increased before, but chieftaincy districts were not increased, especially in the Combo North area. And here and there, you may want to create SAFO districts, but it must be in consultation with the National Assembly. But the IEC is also mandated, in the absence of a commission, to demarcate constituencies. But my problem is, if you can create a district and the IEC did not create districts, constituencies, it may not tally. Don't you think it's about time now that the ministry looks into the creation of districts in areas where the IEC had already demarcated as constituencies? Because the Constitution is saying districts should be constituencies. That's how it is. That's why Janjambure is a constituency. What is your opinion on that?
It is a good suggestion, and we are looking at that at the level of the ministry.
Okay.
That each constituency will be chieftains. But again, it's an added cost on the government budget, and I will also, before we come up with it to the National Assembly, I will urge and appeal to the National Assembly members that once we are here with it, you grant us approval and provide the allocation for that. Not only that, we are also thinking that like a region like Sierra is so big that north and south be separated so that we can create another region calling the Sierra North. We are looking at all those possibilities with the view of coming to the National Assembly. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, I think there is one particular section in the bill, that is section 13(2)(d), that partly involve local government authorities. The issue of issuing attestations to the applicants by the Alkalulu and then Sifu. I think it has been a cause of concern in the corners all throughout. We observe from the explanation advanced by IEC that the election act currently has been amended in 2016, and the provision that catered for the 5 council of elders to be involved in the said issuing of attestation had been removed. Now it has been only limited to the Alkalu and then the Sefo. Opinions are that you don't expect the Sefo to accurately attest to somebody in his district other than the ones living in the village or town where he comes from. To the Alcalo as well, a bigger court settlement, the alcalde alone may not be in position to attest to all applicants from that particular village. That's why it will have required for the previous provision that had been there for the involvement of the 5 council of elders to help the alcalde to accurately attest to the applicants. Opinions also add that, in fact, it will be unnecessary for the involvement of the civil, but rather let it be limited to the alcalde to be assisted by the 5 council of elders. What's your take on that?
I don't understand. Which one are you referring to, my testimony? That to be limited to the alcalis and exempting chiefs from attestation. Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, precisely there are 2 parts. One, why removing the involvement of the Council of Elders? Would you prefer the Council of Elders to be involved? That's one. And 2, for the CFOs to be excluded and it will be limited to only alcalde and Council of Elders.
I think the Council of Elders live in the village and they assist the alkali. So their involvement is to guide the alkali. Sometimes, like you said, rightly, alkali may not know the entire population of the village when it comes to the size of the settlement. So the Council of Elders will guide the alkali, but officially they have no official function that warrants them to be able to be authority to attest. The CFO has authority because he attests already. The CFO they attest to some of the issues that are within the region. I don't see any major problem with the CFO being part of the attestants, because he or she sometimes is guided also by the attestation of an alkali, and I don't see much defect with that one.
So you will prefer for only the CFO and alcalde and then the Council of Elders?
I am saying the Council of Elders are they are there to assist the alkali. It depends on the administration that is within the settlement there. Like last Thursday, when I was called to come to the National Assembly, I was meeting an alkali with his Council of Elders. The way the procedure they adopted was they work together with the alkali because he is not aware of everything that's around him there. And whatever he does it with the Council of Elders. I think the alkali is connected to the Council of Elders. That should be left to the discussion of the alkali, and also the chief should be part of the attestants.
But yeah, the Council of Elders are there to attest, but in this case, there is no provision for the involvement of the Council of Elders. That's our point.
Well, like I said again, you are the lawmakers. If you feel that it should be part of the law, it's fine. Huh?
No, that's okay. I have a similar question.
I heard of him calling Jumar. So please. Yeah, he's just coming now. Thank you very much, Coach. Coach, I have issue with this safe hold. Most of these chiefs are political appointment chiefs. And to me, I'm not sure whether somebody will walk from Sarakoke to Sanjinkunda just to go and get a document and get voter's card. So I think it's not important to include the chiefs on these alcalos or to leave it with the alcalo only. That's okay with me. Yes. Yes.
It is left. Yes, I think. Yeah. Okay.
I think also the question of somebody living in Sarakoke going to all the way to chief to look for an attestation. If the person cannot get the attestation in his or her village, that's the time you go to the chief. But it may not be necessary. for anybody traveling outside your village to go and get a service attestation. Well,
I think it's clear. You know, the chiefs are appointed by its political appointment, its politicians that appoint them, but they are not playing a political role. They are not supposed to play a political role. The Constitution has barred them from that. So if you want to scrutinize them on the basis of that. I think that's what we should do. Yeah. Right? No, I think we are. Yes, sorry.
Appointing authorities is politicians. I don't think they are political appointees. I don't think. Well, I'm not sure whether they are doing politics. And I think in response to a question that was asked in Parliament as to why some of the CFOs were removed, I said they were practicing politics, actively engaged in political activities when they were supposed not to. That's why they were removed from office.
Yes, is that our final one? That is, yes. Yes.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, in relation to the attestation, I know that the chiefs, they have that authority, of course, to attest some of these documents, or to attest an individual. But you will come to realize that in the village, the alkali will attest an individual, but some of these documents are required for the chief to equally stamp that very document. This is something that we are experiencing. So in this case, are we following the same process where an alcalo or alkali attests an individual? The chief will equally provide his stamp on that very document for people to know that you are really from this particular area or from this village. Are both the stamp required in that document?
I think the fact that the alkali's attestation is enough. When you have the alkali's attestation, there is no point for the chief to equally endorse it for it to be accepted by a registration officer. I don't think so.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member, I think here we're talking about the provision in the bill, if passed. What the bill is saying is either the chief or the alkali. And the advocacy is it used to be the 5 council of elders.
Yeah.
That is my understanding.
Yeah.
So again, whatever answer minister gives here is an opinion, but the correct answer would come from the Independent Electoral Commission.
Yeah.
As far as this particular provision is concerned.
Thank you.
Having the stamp and signature or thumbprint of the alkali in a document and at the same time or that of the chief, that is also another procedure different from this provision in the bill.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you very much, Honorable Members. I think at this stage we can release the Minister. He's done very well. Thank you for all the answers that you have provided to the committee. Thank you.
When am I receiving my allowance?
You are released.
No. He's dodging from that.
In due course. In due course.
You've answered now.
I think, members, we can now move on to AOB, which is revised itinerary.
Yes.
Where is Jallo?
In his absence, Nda is here, Fatima is here. They can guide us through. Yes. All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we are done.
The business for the day.
Thank you very much.
Thank